Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is to try to get 201 trades, each with a return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the end of MetaMaterials as the company have today filed for bankruptcy, so not great news there. And we're also going to be looking at an update on MMTLP in terms of the $1,275 per share ask price. There has been an update there, so stay tuned for that. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So we can see here at market open, according to CNBC, that the S&P 500 was little change as market was trying to complete a comeback from the week's losses. So in terms of the Magnificent Seven, we can see here again Google was down, Tesla was down. I know Tesla right now at time of editing has just crossed 200, so there is a little bit of improvement in these prices. So let's have a look at why. Market news that was shared in the Discord is that US markets are now turning green and the Dow Jones is surging. And one of the reasons for this is the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston President Susan Collins has signaled that the central bank could start cutting interest rates soon. So once that happens, I do expect a very significant rally. And finally, news with regard to FTX. We can see here FTX has been ordered to pay $12.7 billion to customers. That's from a US court mandating this as relief to customers. So this is the kind of news that we would also like for MMTLP shareholders. Let's now get an update on Scott's $1,275 per share claim against Schwab. And what he posted earlier is with regard to open communication with the US Attorney's Office, and this is with regard to Trout versus Rubenstein. We're talking about Harry Rubenstein, and he states here, as a witness will testify with audio-visual evidence that Schwab was forewarned on 8th of December 2022 about the U3 hole. And what Scott is saying is that this audio is over 4 minutes, and the witness also has trade screens from Schwab showing that Schwab sold 6.4 million short shares of MMTLP at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8th of December 2022, and these were never closed. So this is a direct contradiction of FINRA's FAQs, and this evidence I think will have to be contradicted by FINRA, because I think hopefully if any judge with common sense reviews this, he will need to see them provide that. But then he goes on to say in number 2, continue to develop Plan C and issue state subpoenas for the blue sheets to all broker dealers. So here's the bit about the share price, and he states, I am no longer at $1,275 a share and need to attack wildly optimistic valuations so the judge doesn't sign a court order to put me in a room where I can't quite stand up and I can't quite sit down. So it sounds like Scott may have to become a little bit more realistic. So in response to a question on this particular valuation, what Palms to Pines has stated is that your valuation has to come down to get the judge to focus in terms of a question. But what Scott has stated here is we are nowhere near a hearing yet. He's just wargaming high and low ranges for the oil fees to have a defensible valuation for use down the line. And I think that's one of the things that Scott was looking for. He was looking for experts in the oil industry to get a valuation on NextBridge Hydrocarbons assets. And Scott has also finished off by basically stating here, we are just getting started. And as far as I know, Scott, almost all of this work is being done by Scott himself. So again, so far, credit to him. Let's now move on to have a look at the news with regards to MetaMaterials. And what I posted earlier is that MetaMaterials have filed for bankruptcy with an 8K and have now ceased operations. On August the 9th, 2024, the company have ceased operations and filed a voluntary petition for the relief in the bankruptcy court. After consideration of all the strategic alternatives, the company have now ceased operations. So they're basically, from my point of view, they have stated in their 8K that they've considered all the alternatives, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm fairly confident they did not consider or look at the plan proposed by George Palikaros. Whether or not it would have worked, we don't know, but it does look like the this new board brought no value. They did have a vested interest to maintain the high paid salaries, and did not listen to or communicate effectively with the shareholders, and did not act in the interest of the organisation. So let's have a look at the 8K. So we've already dealt with the item 1.03 with regard to bankruptcy. So what they've also confirmed in item 5.2 is departure of the directors. So the company have terminated all the remaining employees, so every single member of staff, all the executive officers, including Uzi and the board of directors. The board of directors have resigned, and obviously this is as a result of the bankruptcy filing. So they're confirming here there were no disagreements at board level, and the resignations are with immediate effect. And obviously the directors now have basically no say in the running of this company. Let's have a look at some reactions with regard to the news for MetaMaterials, and what It's Still Me Albi has stated is that the board have successfully destroyed the company and effectively driven them into bankruptcy, essentially giving an out to the naked shorting crooks by erasing billions of counterfeits created in the name. Corporate takeovers are a last resort, but a very effective way to deal with this. But I'm not sure if there is going to be a corporate takeover, because there are virtually no assets left. And what Peter has stated here is, honest question, who determines how far to drop a stock upon news? A 73% drop on 63,000 volume and an average volume of 922,000 a day, really. So again, a question here in terms of what is going on, and it certainly seems to be very highly suspicious, and a case of who would actually be buying MMAT. But pre-split the price would be 0.0056 cents. So in terms of how it's doing at time of editing, it did go down to around about 50 cents. So from that 50 cent price is jumped up 50%, so it potentially got a strong swing trade there for somebody, but it's still 50% down on the day, currently trading at $1.02. So not good news there for MetaMaterials. And what Meta News have stated is very unfortunate, and retail investors could see it coming. Corrupt board bankrupted the company, and the opinion is they're trying to cover up counterfeit shares, and if you had $1 billion issue, you would do anything to prevent the exposure of MMAT, MMTLP. So let's have a look at a response from Pro Street Art, who stated, tagging in West Christian, I think this is a valid question. Are you able to provide any opinions on what the board of directors selling off patents and trademarks while the company is under investigation? Why were they actually selling off these assets, and have you actually uncovered anything that you can share? And what Rare DD has stated is the board is gone. Appears they have had no intentions of acting in the information gathered by Wes and share intel. So I'm assuming there was some positive information there. What more do you need to be convinced that they were in some way working on behalf of the manipulated companies? So maybe they had a hand in the MMTLP fiasco. So that's an interesting question there as well. And if we get a reaction here from Mark, he stated, have any chance of getting any money back in MetaMaterials? All securities will be cancelled as a matter of law, and unless a party intervenes on behalf of the shareholders or creditors, all assets will be lost. You can fight this, but you'll need to move quickly. Time is now against the shareholders, and it's been ticking for more than a year. He spelt for as FRO, so not great there from an attorney. And then finally, I'm going to finish off by referring back to the previous video where we looked at Eli Lilly, so a great call in the Discord, and it was on our weekly watch list. So if we follow up from yesterday's tremendous run, which was up in excess of 10%. Today it's also up in excess of 5%. It's currently up over 17% on the week. So ticker symbol LLY. And finally, if you would like to get a copy of our weekly watch list and daily stock alerts, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.